Good day, and in this live stream, we will be looking at or learning the solo from Kryptonite. I did Kryptonite last week. However, we did not get to the solo. So stay tuned, and we shall be right back, and we shall learn that solo in a moment.
Like a pro at String Sound Studios.
Here we go. Good day. Shut the distortion off there so we can hear everything nice, loud, and clear. And for the best viewing experience, go to YouTube and please subscribe to our YouTube. Hi again, Mike Violette. Now, in this video, we're going to explore about 6 different concepts which will enable you to play Kryptonite solo, 3 Doors Down solo of Kryptonite. So we're coming to you from a whole bunch of different platforms. We got Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope. Please join us on all our social media and make sure you definitely join YouTube so you know when these videos are on. And that's probably one of the best places to watch it live and afterwards. And the best place, one of the best places, is to watch Vimeo. Okay, go on Vimeo, subscribe. I know it's not as big as YouTube, but to me, it's a better platform, audio and video at all wise, and they're starting to get some steam here. So check that out too, and it's better for, I think it's there's more serious things on there. Like me, I'm serious. Okay, so I did mention that we are going to explore about 6 different concepts to learn this solo, and we will get started. I will play the solo throughout the live stream. And let's take a look, though, at one of the first things that we need to do. And this is helpful when you're playing a solo. And this can be used as an additional solo, so if you want to do some improvising over it, that would work very well. Okay? Now, we're going to take a look at this scale, and I'm going to do it, for the most part, in 2nd position. Later on when I play, I'm going to improvise all over the fretboard using this, but there's a lot of things you could come up with just playing a B minor scale. Okay, so let's take a look at that first. I'm going to zoom in as usual, and you can take a look so you can see everything real up close, and I'll hide behind the chat box there. I still can see you if you plan to send me a note. I think that's pretty big, okay? Now, I'm going to play a B minor or a natural minor scale. We have like 3 different names for this, okay? And there are 3 different minors, but we're concentrating on one with 3 different names. So let's take a look. We have a B natural minor scale, or it's also called a pure minor scale, and it's also called an Aeolian mode, okay? However you wish. And if you learn this in one position, you can learn it in a bunch of positions. Keep the same shape. Okay, so this is a good scale to use over the progression for Kryptonite. Now, let's take a look. I'm going to start here. I'm going to play this B. I'm in 2nd position. Can you see that? Okay. B, C sharp, D. Now, let's start that again. So I'm going to play in 2nd position. I'm going to play 1, 3, 4, and then go 1, 3, 4 again. Watch. Okay? Now next, we'll finish up the scale. This is just 1 octave. Okay, I could go further. So So let's take a look at that again. Oops, sorry. What I have is a B, a C sharp, a D, okay, an E. Here's my E here, okay, E. Go to the fourth string, right? E, F sharp, G, G natural, A, B. And that's the scale. And we could continue that another octave. However, you do have to move if you have to get up to this B. So I will show you that. Let's start on the A though. Okay. You have to get up to there. Now, you can use combinations of the C sharp and C natural in this solo. I'm showing you a pure B minor scale. We could also put the C in there. Watch. C sharp. Okay. Now, I wouldn't really move like that if you're doing it 2 octaves. Let me show you from here. And the reason why I want you to learn this scale is, well, you can solo with it, right? I could take the next thing and we can play that and show you pretty much the exact scale he's using, but this seems to work better in a lot of instances, okay? You got to watch the C. You got to watch the C note, although he does use it, okay? And let's try this again. So I'm going to show you the movement for this. Sorry. Ready? That's how I would move if I was playing a 2 octave scale. See, there's my octaves. You want to practice from octave to octave. You're going to need to move. So if I'm coming from my A, I would move to my B rather than stay in position. You can just stay in position also, right? Continue. Oops, play the G sharp in there. See, so you go like this. Play 2 ways. Let's do it 2 ways, right? Let's do 1 octave, almost an octave, staying in the position, second position, all the available notes. Go to the A, and then go back. And again, I'm playing here, you know not to play here, unless you knew the guitar. So why is that guy playing here? I'm playing here so you can see. I always say that, so you don't have to look all the way back here, down, and look, what are my hands doing here? What are my hands doing there? Now, let's do it 2 octaves. Do that. Go back. And that's one way to play it. You can play it all over the fretboard. You know, if you say, hey, Mike, get your Kryptonite. Well, we're going to get your Kryptonite. I think it's important to get your hands in tune with the scale he's playing. You also have available notes here. In that scale, he only plays, in the solo, he only plays, really the lowest note he plays is an A. Okay? So you have the A there. Now, we're going to go into the solo, and I want you to just really watch. I'm going to stay, for the most part, in 2nd and 4th and 5th position. I'm going to jump up to 5th, jump back to 4th. So there's a lot of things going on when you do this, okay? We talked about the natural minor or pure minor, Aeolian mode, 3 different ways to say that. We also have 16th notes also combined with 8th notes, and proper movements from position to position. We kind of covered that with the scales, although the solo moves a little bit differently, right? I have something called -1 in here. We also have muted technique and some effects that we're using, right? Now let me go back over let me get into the solo here. And it's not a terribly difficult solo. It's just quick. I slowed it down on the backing track so you can play it. I can play it too. No, I can play it at regular speed. All right, so I'm going to crank the distortion in. Let's take a look. I'm not going to play here now. I just want you to listen to this. Let's take a listen to this, okay? Now just take a listen to that again. Yes, I'm muting it. Now, I mentioned -1. I didn't do it the second time, and I'm going to do it now. All right? What intonation is that? Well, -1 is reaching back one note out of position. Remember, I'm in second position here. My hand, let's just say simple definition of position. My first finger is lining up on the second fret. Okay? So my first finger is lining up on the second fret. And everything is going to fall in there like a puzzle. All right? Well, -1 is reaching one note out of position. To me, I don't want to confuse it. To me, it's not really leaving the position. It's a temporary displacement of the position, if you want to look at it like that. So you have like a temporary displacement of position. And why? Because you don't want to say, well, he moved to first position for one note. In order to be in a position, in my view, you have to play at least a few notes in that position. So we're just reaching back and going there. A better definition for position is the fret behind the second finger, okay? Because this one can reach a lot, and you can go higher with this one. All right, so that's a better definition. Where's my second finger? Well, my second finger is lining up on the third fret. What's the fret behind it? 2. So remember, you do a lot of stretch things on the guitar. 1 is an excellent finger choice to move with. Not all the time, but I do quite a bit of movement with that. More, I would say, more with that than any other finger. Okay? It's probably the best finger to move with when you're moving all over the fretboard. Okay, so let's take a look at that now. I'm going to pick here so you can see it nice and big. Ready? Hide behind the box a little bit. Hey, Callie, what's going on? Sounded good? Okay, great. So here we go. I'm going to play the first 2 bars with the -1, really slow. What I do here is play the open at the end. So here's my B minor scale coming right out of that. I'm only using 2 strings. Just like the sound of that open A. You can play it there too. That's over a B, we call B5 chord, this chord, like a root and 5th chord. And a G chord and an A chord. So you can hear the da 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 da. That's what we're doing over that, okay? To know thy chords, go look at the solo, the Kryptonite chords, the whole song I did last week. If you're watching this in the future, of course, you'll find it. Just, search on YouTube or whatever platform you're on. All right, let's continue with that. Then we'll go to the next part. Right? It's a good little solo to learn, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about improvising over it. Ready, go. All right, that's the first part. Now the next 2 bars are over a B5 chord, an E5 chord, and an F sharp. There's a split bar, okay, except for the B5 chord, that's a full bar. The others are split bars. So we have a B5 chord for 1 bar of music, then we have a split bar, meaning on 1 and 2, E5, which is, we'll just play that, and an F sharp 5, or this. I'll go over the chords a little bit for this solo, in case you missed, you just joining us, and in case you missed the solo from last week or the song from last week. All right? They'll go over the solo chords. All right, here we go. So now, let's start with this. And remember, you have combinations of 16th notes also combined with eighth notes. Okay? When we're talking about eighth notes, we're talking about our beat is 1, right? We're going 1 and 2 and 3. So we're playing that da, da. My pulse is here. That's the beat of my music. My eighth notes are on the beat and off the beat. So you can think of a speech rhythm. Use my name. Mike O, right? Mike O, Mike O. Your pulse is down, right? I'm tapping down here. Here's my upbeat, eighth note. Ba, 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 ba. We're in 4/4 time. We're in common time. And the tune runs, I don't know, probably runs like 100 something on the metronome. I think I have it slower on the looper, okay? Which is fine, because you need to learn it. And you can see more of what I'm doing and hear it a little bit better if it's a little bit slower, okay? So here we go. 1 and 2 and da, da. That's your eighth notes, okay? But there's combinations of eighths and sixteenths. And the 16th notes that are played more towards the end of the solo are 4 notes against 1. So you can say, like, here's my beat, right? So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, dot, 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 right? You could use that speech rhythm. I've heard huckleberry, huckleberry. Those work too, by the way. Use speech rhythms because rhythms are, well, they're lyrical, okay? And they're patterns of movements. Rhythms are patterns of movements in time, okay? Just like when you speak or there's poetry or you write. Ba, 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 ba. So there's the 16th notes, and we'll do that technique in a minute. Now let's take a listen to the next part, the next 2 bars. So we have this. It's 2 notes, but listen to that rhythm. What that is called is syncopated too. He's accenting those normally occurring weaker beats. He's coming in on the end, right? Ba, 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 ba. Listen again, nice and slow. So it's just these 2 notes. Good news, these 2 notes. A and B. You really got to focus on the rhythm. And this is kind of harder to hear than the first part in the song, so you really got to listen. Okay? You can change it a little bit. Get the general idea, the general rhythm. Okay? That's how I hear it. Again, 3, 4. Oops, messed it up. Okay, what happens on my next part? Now, so far, I've been in second position. I'll take it from the edge, which is the beginning, and we'll play it slow, and then I'll show you the next part. 3, slow. Now, he's going to go up to here. We will talk about the muted technique and how to do that in a moment. Right? I go to 5th position. Remember, this is second. I'm going to slide my first finger up. I'm going to stay on the same string. Okay? And I'm going to slide up here. So from a B to a D. And here comes my 16th notes. Right? Here, it's just 2 notes. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Of course, we'll play that better in time. We want to do it slow. So watch. 1 Mississippi. Ready? 4 Mississippi. Okay, so it beats here. Right? Right? Ba, 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 ba. Oops, I'm singing 8th note. Sorry. Dot, 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 dot. Then we're going to go back to 4th position. Okay? Go back to 4th position. And then we're going to play a couple notes there, and then we'll play the open A to move. We use the open A to move. So we have this. And that second part, it's just 1, 2. I go back to fourth. Open. So I got this. So that those last 2 bars, okay, or the next segment we're doing, I'm going to play it from there. Then I'm going to show you how to do the muted technique with your right hand. But I have to zoom out for that, so hang in there. All right, so I sped it up. I played a little more, how it's close to being in time with the song. So now I'm going to zoom out, and I want to talk to you about muted technique here. So I'm going to zoom way out because I'm going to show you about how to do your picking hand, how you can do the muted technique when you get to that part. Oh, geez, you can see my whole studio. All right, so let's take a look here. All right? When you're doing muted technique, I'm not going to play here. All right, when you get this sound, what you do, okay, what I want you to do is, I want you to take your hand, okay, hold the pick this way, Johnny Smith style. I want you to fan your hand out, and you're going to rest by the bridge, kind of with the side. So your fingers, your fingers, your side of your hand, almost like you're doing a karate chop there, right? Put it there, and then angle it so you can pick. And you get that muted sound. Okay? Non-muted. Okay. Move over a little bit. Non-muted, muted. And you mute more down by the bridge here, okay? Not here. Because you won't get a sound. See that? So you mute, take your hand, put it by the bridge. Close to the bridge, not on it, just close to it. Get comfortable. Well, every guitar is different. Rest it lightly on there, and use your wrist mostly for picking. You have to. A little bit elbow. So when you're going up to that part, follow, you hear the muted technique? Now I'm muting it throughout. Notice the movement, right? Fourth. And you might say, well, why do you play the open string? Open strings are great if you can, the music calls for that. They're great, especially if you have to move. They give you time to move. Can you play it here? Yeah. You can play the same note here. So when you're doing this, though, right? The other thing, I'm trying to stay on the same string as much as possible. All right? So I don't want to cross strings if I don't have to. And this, this moves along. It's not terribly quick. I wouldn't do it as a beginner. I think it's a beginner type solo, right? With something really slow for that. However, intermediate guitar player can learn this pretty quick. Right? And there's some, really good techniques in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to play it a little bit from the beginning. Then I'm going to go back to talking about improvisation. So we talked about the usage of the B minor. We talked about different finger positions. We talked about rhythms. We talked about -1, and we talked about muted technique. So we covered most of the things I wanted to cover in, a fairly short amount of time. It's not a very long solo, so it's not we don't have to sit here for 3 hours trying to learn that. I try to look for shorter solos, keep your attention span, keep my attention span. But yeah, they're easy to learn. It's hard to learn a big long solo. People, hey Mike, I'll do Freebird or something. I'll be here all day teaching you that. You'd have to do things like that in segments, which is fine. If you want to learn a solo, it's great to do it that way. And if you have any suggestions and you'd like me to do a song or a solo of a song, please write in and let me know what you like me to do. Okay. I'm into all kinds of music, so I'm not a one genre guy. I'm a cross genre player. I like classical guitar. I play a lot of jazz fingerstyle. I play jazz. I like classical guitar. I like rock. I like blues. I love the Nashville guys. That sound, that style. I'm working on a bit. But it's great to play everything because you hear a guitar player, you hear a style, you go, wow, I like that. What's that guy doing? And it all comes down to you playing and sounding very original when you do learn a lot of different styles. And of course, along with these styles, there's different techniques. So it's all good. I'd rather be more of a jack of all trades in a sense. It's not that I'd rather be, it's just that's me, okay? You are what you are. If you like the blues and that's what your forte is and you like, and that's what your passion is, then do that, right? I'm not against that. I just like doing a lot of different things, okay? All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to play it for you a couple times. Oh, I wanted to show you the chords for that. Let me zoom in a little bit and then I'll play it some more. So back to the zoom in over here. Nothing really hard on the chords, but just to reiterate some of those points on the chords for you, okay? From last time. All right, the chords, as I mentioned, are a B5 chord to a G5 chord to an A5 chord in the solo, right? So when he hits the solo, he's got this. I'm not going to do the rhythm of the thing. Just let's do it in whole and half notes. Here's a B5. We're going to just go like this. I like playing it on the 6th string, 7th position. 7th position, right? 3, 5, 7, 1 here, 3 there. You got that root and 5th, and put 4 here. We'll get the octave. So you get that. It's not this. It's not a B major chord. It's a B5. Right? So you got the octave here. All right, let's go. Ready? 1. Same shapes. We're going to move to G to A. Ready? 3, 4. 4. Now go back to an E chord when you do the E chord in 2nd position. You could do this or this. You could play this with a half capo. You can play this E and this B, or you could just do this. Open in that. And then we're going to have sharp. And he goes back. So he plays that progression twice. 3, 4, G. B. 2, 3, 4, E. 2, F sharp. 2, 3, 4, G. 2, 3, 4, E. And he ends, the solo ends on that. Go look at the actual song. I did a lesson on that, and you can learn all the chords for the song. Okay? Rhythmically, he does that differently. I just wanted to show that to you. Those are the chords. You can get the rhythm by listening to it, and also, checking out my video on that. All right. So now, what are we going to do now? Well, next thing, I'm going to play this solo, then I'm going to improvise a little bit. All right. I'll stay mostly in 2nd position, and I'll play it from the beginning with the looper. All right. I back it up a little bit. I do a little bit of an intro to it. So I play the B chord to the E chord to the F sharp 5. Then I go into the solo. You'll hear it. Ready? let's stop a minute. So remember I used that B minor scale to do an additional solo. So if you're jamming with the guys, they say, well, let's extend that solo part. And you got this, what he does, because a lot of people like to hear the songs the way they go. Then you do some additional soloing. So I did a little bit of that in second position. Then I'll back out. I'll do a little bit more of you, and I'm just going to start playing a solo. Wherever it takes me, okay? Come up here. I'll try to not go crazy and too crazy, and try to be as melodic as possible. So I don't want to go too crazy showing you, well, you could do the scale this way, you could do the scale that way. Start out learning that in second position and move up to here. Remember what I said on the scale. So I did this, right? It moved. Now there's a couple ways to do it. I chose to use this before. So you go back earlier in the lesson and you have... I like that G in there. It's kind of cool. Gives it that. Right? Remember, this is well, it's kind of modal. Rock is modal, but it's more in a B minor. Okay, so yeah, it has a key signature of D, but it's more based around B minor or a B Aeolian mode. So I don't want to get into a whole big modal discussion here about everything. So I hope you enjoyed this solo. I really enjoyed doing this, and I'd really like you to join our social medias, ask me questions. We're going to, of course, continue to do this forever and ever, as long as I'm alive. Hopefully that's a long time. Hopefully you think so too. And see, your homework is to, of course, practice. That's how you get good, right? There's not too many George Gershwins or whatever prodigies running around there. George Gershwin is. I'm using a jazz guy. I try to think if it was a prodigy. Who do I think is a prodigy? A prodigy today that works hard at it, a guy that you might know doing rock, Steve Vai. I think Steve Vai is very prodigal, but he really works at it too. A great player. I could go on and on here, the Danny Gattins and all that. But they still have to work on it, and they do because they love doing it, all right? And they want to get better. So work on it. It's the only way you're going to get better. All right? Practice. So again, please check out my Play Like a Pro video courses. If you're new to guitar, I have excellent beginners or intermediate ones up there. The pure beginning guitar course, beginning blues guitar course, and a midway blues guitar course. They come with all kinds of transcriptions, soloing things, of course, with backing tracks too. It's important if you're not playing with anyone, especially throughout this COVID thing. Yes, we're at that part. We're done with that, hopefully. A little bit beyond that, but it's great to play with backing tracks if you can't play with people. And then you get out playing with people and you're practiced up. So I have backing tracks on there. I also do other things. Again, okay? Send me recommendations. Some people said, can you do Tuesday's Gone? I did Tuesday's Gone. Then I did the solos for Tuesday Gone. So I'll do what you want me to do. I'll get to it. But right now I'm just doing all kinds of different genres and everything. I think that's great. It captures a lot of people. One likes fingerstyle. One likes this. One likes that. And we got to do some fingerstyle. Maybe I'll do that the next lesson or so. I'll do a piece that does simpler finger style. That might be nice. So check out our website. Make sure you looking for those when we're doing videos. And folks, did I miss anything? All right, please subscribe to everything and remember to do this.
Play like a pro
See you later.
at String Sound Studio.